going to move this right along with your next funny person. Please put your hands together for Kate Kremers.
Thank you all so much for coming out tonight. Give yourselves a round of applause for supporting live comedy, especially women in live comedy. Hell yeah. And give it up for all the women and your hosts, too, tonight. They're all doing such a great job. So, my name is Kate, and I'm at that point in my life where all of my friends are having kids. Anybody in here have kids? Okay, so some of you are more enthusiastic than others. All right. Well, listen, I love kids, and it's not that I don't want to have kids, it's just that I'm using the most effective form of birth control on the market, which is lesbianism. Yeah, sounds like some of you use that same birth control. Interesting. And some of you are confused looking at me like, she doesn't look like she's Lebanese. Most people don't realize that I'm a vegetarian until I put on my Birkenstocks, my blazer, and I step into my Subaru. And people get really upset with that one because they're like, Kate, that is such a stereotype. But I'm here to tell you that stereotypes exist for a reason. For example, every last Tuesday of the month, I have the Lexington lesbians over for Taco Tuesday. They all drive over, and pretty soon, my driveway looks like a Subaru dealership. And a lot of you probably don't realize this, but if you are in a lesbian relationship and you share a Subaru and you decide to break up, the rules do state that you have to rock, paper, scissors in order to see who gets to keep the Subaru. Problem is, lesbians always choose scissors. Oh, yes. Now, I'm sure the front row can really see this, but if you can't tell, I'm a really large lady. And usually the first word when people see me, they use to describe me as sturdy. Yeah. Most strangers, when they first see me, their first thought is, you know, I bet she could help me move. And, you know, the thing is, I get that, but I want to be loved for who I am, not because I can one-hand carry a queen-size mattress up 3 flights of stairs. Listen, we can be friends with U-Haul benefits, but you gotta love me for me, all right? And listen, I know I'm big. I've always been really tall, and I've got these really thick thighs. And my thighs are so thick that they eat through the crotch of my pants like Cookie Monster eats through a plate of cookies. Yeah. And the other day, I was running through my neighborhood, and just the sound of my thighs slapping together set off the severe thunder warning sirens. Yeah. And, you know, I sometimes get a lot of people on social media bullying me, being mean, right? Like, the other day, this guy wrote on one of my posts, he said, "You're a pussy." And, you know, he did spell it Y-O-U-R, but, you know, at least he tried, right? And, you know, I was like, you know what, I'm going to write back. So I wrote back and I said, well, you know, it's like they say, you are what you eat. Certainly explains why you're a dick. Yeah. Yes. And, you know, you can probably tell from my accent I'm not from here. I grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina. Woo, all right, yeah, yes, North Carolina. And I've been going back there a lot lately because my dad passed away. Before you get concerned, there are jokes here. Stick with me. And, you know, my dad had been sick for a while, so we planned out a lot of things. Like, we planned out his funeral, we planned out all the expenses. There were a couple things we didn't plan on, though. And the first thing was, we didn't plan on what to do with his 40-year-old porn collection. And I say porn collection, but it's more like a pornucopia. Now, Jan, Deadpan Jan, you're going to want to get your lube drops ready for this joke, okay? Just to prepare you. And, you know, my mother, God love her, she's a good Catholic woman, and she was mortified by this because my dad didn't, you know, he didn't buy Hustler, he didn't buy Playboy, no. He went on the internet and he printed off single images onto sheets of paper and then stored them in file boxes. And you know, she's like, you got to help me get rid of this. And I'm like, okay, we'll do this. And so she brings out 3 large file boxes just filled to the brim with thousands of sheets of porn. And I looked down at all this porn and I said, my God, no wonder there was never any ink in the printer. I had to get up early and print off my homework at school because Dad was too busy printing off porn like we were Kinkos. And my friends asked me, they're like, did he at least print in black and white? I said, no, that man printed off full color, full bush. Yeah. And so, you know, we first start by trying to destroy it with fire, right? And caused too much smoke. Then we tried to shred it, quickly broke the shredder. Then finally, you know, we settled on going to the recycling center and recycling everything at the dump. But before that, my mom had wanted me to go around to all the other neighbors' houses and put the porn in their recycling bins. Because she didn't want to be caught red-handed with it, right? And I told her, listen, I work in education. That's the kind of thing where if I get caught, suddenly I'm not allowed within 200 yards of a school. It's a problem. But, you know, we ended up destroying all of it. And the second thing that happened was our phone service was shut off because he was the main account holder. Now, I don't want to call out my phone service company, but I can tell you their initials start with AT&T. And the best and the brightest clearly do not work there. Because I was on the phone with this woman for 3 hours, and she was telling me, finally, she's like, he's going to have to come down here and sign over the account himself. To which I said, okay, fine, Mom, get Dad. So we got in her Subaru. Make of that what you will. And we drove down. I put the urn on the desk at the AT&T store, and I said, here's Scott Kremers to sign over the account. And she looked at me and she said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. This is a misunderstanding. Listen, if you can just go home and print off a death certificate, we'll take care of this whole thing. And so we go home, and we go to print off the death certificate, and wouldn't you know, printer's still out of ink. Thank you all so much. My name has been Kremers. You've been lovely. Please help me welcome back to the stage Misty Stein.
Give it up for Kate Kremers.